Coming up on Spartan Sports Report, the football team headed to Minnesota looking to snap its losing streak. Men's basketball took on a top-ranked opponent in a road exhibition, and the field hockey team looked to take down the defending national champs.
Hello and welcome into the Spartan Newsroom for this all-new episode of Spartan Sports Report. I'm Daphne Bohenik.
And I'm Audrey Dayton. Daphne, this school year is flying by.
Absolutely. With temperatures dropping and Halloween last Friday, I'm ready for those winter sports to get going.
I agree, but we still had plenty of fall sport action last week. Should we get into it?
Let's do it, Audrey. The Spartan football squad looked to get back on the right side of the win column as it headed to Minneapolis to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers on Saturday. The Spartans struggled in the first half as they allowed 6 sacks and were held scoreless, but it didn't take long for MSU to strike in the second half as quarterback Alisio Milivojevic connected with wide receiver Rodney Bullard Jr. on a 71-yard strike. Going late into the fourth quarter, the Green and White had a 17-10 lead, but the Golden Gophers scored the equalizer to force the game into overtime. After being held to only a field goal, the Green and White would be dealt the final blow as Minnesota quarterback Drake Lindsey ran it into the end zone from 3 yards out. This made the final score 23-20 in favor of Minnesota. This loss dropped MSU to 3-6 overall and 0-6 in conference play. The Spartans are on a bye this week, but will be back at home next week for the final time this year to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions.
The Michigan State basketball team took on the number 4 UConn Huskies for its second exhibition game of the season. 4 players scored in double figures for the Spartans, with redshirt sophomore Jeremy Fears Jr. leading the way with 14. Michigan State did not hit a 2-point basket for 12-plus minutes and had more free throws than field goals in the first half. By halftime, UConn had scored 16 points off 8 turnovers. In the second half, the Huskies took the biggest lead of the game, up 63-44, with 11 minutes to go, capping on an 11-0 run. Michigan State brought the game within 7 but could not get any closer, and the Spartans fell to the Huskies 76-69. They will look towards their season opener against Colgate at 7 p.m. tonight.
Michigan State field hockey hosted number 2 ranked Northwestern at Ralph Young Field on Friday for its Big Ten finale. After a scoreless first quarter, the Wildcats cashed in halfway through the second with this opportunity by junior forward Ashley Sessa, scoring her first of 4 on the day. Northwestern would add on 1 more and sit comfortably going into the second half up 2-0. Kate Janssen would knock this one home to make it 3-0 Northwestern 5 minutes into the half. Junior goalkeeper Lyra Gavino was tested throughout the day, stopping these Wildcats scoring chances, finishing with her 5th double-digit save performance of the season. Junior forward Bianca Pisano was able to throw this shot on goal, the only one for Sparty on the day, but redshirt freshman goalkeeper Juliana Bone stood tall to keep the shutout. Northwestern would score 3 more goals in the second half as Michigan State fell by a final score of 5-0. After their tough loss to the Northwestern Wildcats, the Spartans faced the Central Michigan Chippewas for their season finale. Michigan State started strong with early pressure and a penalty corner, but Central struck first with the goal from senior forward Mallory Cameron. The Spartans battled back, and senior forward Gracie Burns tied the game before halftime. In the second half, both teams fought for control, but Central broke through late with the go-ahead goal. Michigan State could not answer, falling 2-1 to close out its season.
On Halloween night, the Michigan State women's volleyball team took on number 10 ranked Purdue inside the Breslin Center. A career high of 19 kills from freshman outside hitter Bianca Mumshalar made things frightful for the Boilermakers, but the Spartans fell 3-2 in 5 sets, and their first match of the weekend had a little more trick than treat, with the Spartans dropping their 3rd consecutive Big Ten game. The team looked to get back on track the next day facing Rutgers. Following the 5-set loss to Purdue, Michigan State got off to a fantastic start in the first set, highlighted by a 6-0 run from the Spartans. This block from sophomore middle blocker Carmen Way took the set 25-21. Michigan State carried that momentum into the next set, coasting to a 25-18 win on this service ace by junior libero Kai Clayton. Rutgers started to give MSU some trouble in the third, down 5-11. Spartan head coach Kristen Kelsey called a timeout to regroup her team, and they responded to perfection, going on a 20-11 run to close out the set, sweeping the Scarlet Knights 3-0. The Green and White will kick off their West Coast trip against the Washington Huskies on Friday.
On Friday, the Spartan cross-country team hosted the Big Ten Championships at Forest Acres East Golf Course. Michigan State placed second in the men's competition, led by junior Riley Ho, who notched second place, as well as freshman Thomas Westfall in third, and sophomore Michael Haggerty in 16th. The women's team came in fifth, with sophomore Rachel Forsyth coming in sixth overall. Next up, both the men's and women's squad look to take on the Great Lakes Regional in Evansville, Indiana on November 14th.
Michigan State men's soccer competed against Rutgers last Friday for its last chance to get a win in October. The Scarlet Knights scored a goal in the first half, but junior midfielder Richie Ludwig evened the score for the Spartans 80 minutes in, the team's first goal after 4 scoreless games. Despite outshooting the Scarlet Knights 11-7, the Spartans could not escape the 1-1 draw, and Michigan State will end its season at home against number 4 Maryland on Friday at 8 p.m.
Entering as the number 2 seed in the Big Ten women's soccer tournament, Michigan State faced number 7 seeded Northwestern in yesterday's quarterfinal matchup. The Spartans wasted no time on offense, finding their first corner of the game 2 minutes into play. The Green and White shut down the Wildcats' offensive efforts, leaving them with just a single shot on goal heading into halftime. In the second half, the game got physical, like right here, with players from both sides each receiving yellows. However, it wasn't long after MSU received its card that junior midfielder Kayla Briggs ended the drought with a shot that found the top of the center of the net. After the 1-0 victory, Briggs and head coach Jeff Hostler had this to say about how they got it done today and what lies ahead in St. Louis.
Great. I mean, we haven't performed well in the Big Ten tournament the last 2 years, the first round exits. I thought our energy was great in the first half. Northwestern's a really well coached, really organized team, tough to break down, obviously, because it took a later goal to come out on top. But thrilled for our group. I think they did a great job this week, managing the prep early, not being distracted by, who does what on Thursday, and then locking in on Friday and Saturday to get ready for Northwestern.
I think we're just super excited. I mean, wherever we go, whether we're on the road or home, we're super excited to play the game, and I don't know, I've never been to Missouri before, so looking forward to it.
The Spartans will head to St. Louis to face off against the number 3 UCLA Bruins on November 6th at 7 p.m. on Big Ten Network.
The Michigan State women's tennis team hosted the Spartan Invitational in East Lansing over the weekend, competing against Indiana, Xavier, and Minnesota. On Friday, first to finish their match was the pairing of sophomore Ellie Blackford and senior Mathilde Morais against the Hoosiers. Blackford was also the first to claim a singles victory for the Green and White, winning her match against Madeline Rexroth of Xavier. On Saturday, the Spartans faced Xavier for their first round of doubles, with all 3 pairs taking success against their Musketeer opponents. Blackford was the first to tab a singles victory, going 6-2, 6-1 against her Indiana opponent. Round 2 of doubles solidified the double sweep for MSU. Next up, the Spartans will travel to Ann Arbor to compete in the NCAA Individual Sectional Championships on November 6th through the 9th.
The Big Ten Men's Tennis Individual Championships were held in Madison, Wisconsin this past weekend. Michigan State senior David Say had dominant performances throughout the tournament. Say and sophomore Mitchell Sheldon cruised through the doubles bracket and capped off their performances with a 6-1 win in the final. Say made the final in singles play as well, and after getting bageled in the first set, he came back and beat Wisconsin's Michael Minasian to secure the singles title. Up next for the Spartans is the ITA Sectionals, which will begin this Thursday in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Spartan Sports Report.
For more content, make sure to check out all of our social medias below, as well as the Spartan Newsroom website. I'm Daphne Bohenik.
And I'm Audrey Dayton. We'll see you next week.